Hi, we're Tom and Karen Hopkins. We've been in Trinity Church for 2 years now and in the choir for those 2 years. And we're here today. We just want to share our story with you. I was 21, she was 19. I was one of the first guys that she ever dated, really.
He was the only guy I ever dated.
And I was in a little diner by where I worked, and I was checking out, and I was looking in the mirror behind the cash register, and she was sitting in a booth with her girlfriend, and I kept looking at her and I thought, she is gorgeous. And her girlfriend told her, says, that guy up there at the register is looking at you in the mirror. So she came up and she said, do you need something? And I said, I'd like to go out with you. And she said, yes. And that was the start. And our courtship was short.
12 weeks.
12 weeks.
And we got married.
And then we got married. We were on a great adventure. We thought it was going to be fun. And we learned that we didn't really know what marriage was about. So after 2 years and after having one son, we got a divorce. Karen filed for divorce. We were friends, but it wasn't working. A few months later after that, I got remarried, and I was married for 48 years. She was married about 7 years later.
And we were married for 45 years.
And in the meantime, we had moved to Arizona. My wife developed an illness, a COPD, and she died in 2017 after 2 years of declining health. In the meantime, I knew where Karen was, and I saw on Facebook that her daughter had a brain tumor and had a GoFundMe page, so I figured I'd go ahead and make a donation.
We were in Panama, my husband and I, and my daughter was there, and she came out and she said, do you know a Tom Hopkins? And I said, yeah, I sure do. And she said, I didn't tell her in front of my husband, but I went back and I said, that was my first husband. And she said, well, he just donated some money. And I said, well, that can't be true because, he and his wife either got a divorce or she's dead. And then I found out that she died a few days later. 8 months later to the day, my husband had a massive heart attack and he was never sick. And then my husband passed away.
After her husband died, a few months after that, she came to Arizona where I was living just to see me because we hadn't seen each other. And then after that visit, I went down to Panama for a few weeks to see her and just to see about if there was any way that maybe something was there that we could get back together. And we decided that it was there. She came back to Arizona and we got married in February of 2019. We were divorced in '67, so it was 51 years before we got back together again. She asked me at the time, she says, when did you become a Christian? And I told her, I'm a Catholic. So I was there. And she said, God says you're so close to being saved.
The interesting part is that he didn't go to church because he was a Catholic. And so he didn't really want to go to church. And I went to church all the time. And so he said that, well, I'll go with you. It's all right. And so we went to church, and little by little, he found that he really liked church. I guess it was a year later that we went to a church, and it was a big church. And he committed to Jesus and was baptized at that time. And our grandson was also baptized at the same time. It was a really exciting time.
That's the one that the messages were so much better than what I had grown up with. That's the church I got baptized in. I just felt it was time. I needed to commit myself more than just going to church on Sunday, but actually committing myself to Jesus, because I was realizing then that Jesus died for me and I was saved. And so it was time for me to be baptized. But we joke about it and we say that, God put us back together, but he said, do it right this time. And that's what we're trying to do.